there is the bell, and that means soccer is in session. What is up, everybody? My name is Madison Crews, and welcome back to another episode. So for today's episode, we're going to be focusing on girls' high school soccer here in Georgia. And we got a lot of stuff for you guys in this episode. First of all, I'm going to take you guys through everything you might have missed last night from when me, Jason, and John were at North Oconee, where North Oconee faced off against Johnson, where North Oconee beat Johnson 3-1. And then I'm going to give you guys a bit of a preview of everything that is going to be going down this Friday for SDH's game of the week. Got the chance to talk to some of the head coaches for both Mill Creek and for Colins Hill on the girls' side, so make sure y'all tune in for that. But before we get into all of that, a quick word from our sponsors. Soccer is in Session is presented by Kaiser Permanente. Live well and thrive. Let Kaiser Permanente take care of the rest. Hey Atlanta, U.S. Soccer is moving its National Training Center to the ATL and hosting our first national team soccer doubleheader. The 9th annual She Believes Cup, presented by Visa, kicks off Saturday, April 6th at 12:30 p.m. at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Get your tickets now to support the U.S. women's national team against rivals Japan, followed by Brazil versus Canada. Secure your seats today at ussoccer.com/tickets. Again, that's ussoccer.com/tickets. Last night was a fun one at North Oconee. The North Oconee girls beat the Johnson girls 3-1. Me and Jason Longshore were on the call for that game, so if you want to check out the recording, you can go to soccerdownhere.mixler.com. It was a fun region rival game. There was so much back and forth. It was a lot of fun to watch. I really enjoyed it, and there was a lot of fight, and I'm excited to see what both of those teams do throughout the rest of the season and going into playoffs. But after North Oconee's win, I had the chance to catch up with head coach Ben Grassmeyer. We talked about some of the key players that he relies on the team and about the leadership that the team has carried on throughout the season. Getting a win here 3-1, how impressed are you by your team tonight?
I'm the most proud was at halftime. They took control, and it was the players that said, hey, this is what needs to change, and it wasn't even us. It wasn't the coaches at all. It's a team that takes pride in what we do, and we practically were quiet, the coaches at halftime. The team just took over and said, this is what's going to happen, and we're going to work harder, and we're being outworked, and all these things. And so just proud of the character of the group, and it's the best group to work with, and the leadership was shown at halftime. And sometimes we get frustrated if we're not finishing in the final third, but we felt everything was just controlled, and that's what we need to be proud of.
And let's talk about Grace Maddox. I mean, a phenomenal player, already 16 goals coming into this game, made it 18. I mean, how does it feel to have a player like that, and how impactful is she on the field for you guys?
She's a stud. She's a captain. You can see the second half she played center back, so she's playing out a position and scoring a bunch of goals, and we play her at center back when we need to control things and kind of settle. And so she's just a tool that we can rely on anywhere, and she's just a leader and a person that makes this team so much better in every way possible.
And now you guys are going on the road next to face off against another region opponent. What are you guys going to be talking about going towards that road game leading ahead into region play?
Yeah, it's just about getting better and keeping sure we're keeping the shape that we want to keep. And our goal is to outwork the other teams. And I think that's got to be our goal coming to the end of the season, where our hardest games are at the end of the season, and the next 10 are more challenging than the first 10 at times. So just fine-tuning everything and feeling good about what we're doing.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it. Now, a quick reminder before I get into everything that's going to be going on this Friday between Colins Hill and Mill Creek. We will actually be covering another set of high school matches tomorrow. We will be going to Druids Hill High School, where they will face off against Clarkston, and that match will be at 5:30. This would be Druid Hill's first game in region play, while Clarkston just had their first region game on Tuesday, where they won against Miller Grove. So you're getting more high school soccer on the SDH network this week, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, the girls will play tomorrow at 5:30, followed by the boys. It is going to be Druid Hills versus Clarkston. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, make sure you guys tune in. That'll be on soccerdownhere.mixler.com. Now for SDH's game of the week, we will be at Mill Creek, where they will face off against Colins Hill. Now, Colins Hill will be coming into the matchup with a 5-5 overall record and a 2-2 region record. They are currently 4th in 7A, Region 8, and they are just coming off of a loss against Buford where they lost 10-0. And Mill Creek is coming into the matchup with a 4-3 overall record and a 3-1 region record. They are currently 2nd in 7A, Region 8, and they are just coming off of a huge win against Mountain View, 6-0. Now, I had the opportunity to catch up with Mill Creek's head coach for girls soccer, Vince Hayes, about this region matchup, and he also gave me an idea of what the matchup is going to be called. He told me it is called the Bird Battle. So, going to be a lot of fun there on Friday. So, here's my interview with head coach Vince Hayes. Alrighty, so Coach Hayes, I mean, region play has started for you guys. What have been your overall thoughts in this region play so far for your girls, and what do you see moving forward for them going forward in region play?
Well, playing at 7A, every team is good. Every team's going to have players that can cause problems. All the coaches, for the most part, are experienced. And so, we've got to be ready for executing our game plan. Our idea is, can we enforce our playing style on our opponents and make them have to deal with us rather than us have to respond to them? When you're in region, because we play each other twice, there's a bit of an idea of, can we get on the front foot and win and then maintain? Or if not, which is sometimes the case, can we adapt? Can we overcome? Can we be better the second time we face you? So, the reverse fixtures, make it very interesting in our region.
Absolutely. And I mean, this is the first time that you're facing off against Colins Hill. And it's going to be at home as well. That's going to be a huge advantage for you guys. And then especially moving on ahead when you face them later on in the season, when you go to their place, it's going to be nice to have that sort of understanding of what the team is like before you go.
Mm-hmm. And, the Bird Battle, Colins Hill historically is a great program. And they've had some solid teams come through, in some of the years past. And, they're going to give us a tough game and they're always up for it too, as well. And if we're not at our best, they're definitely going to cause issues. We've had games where it's come right down to the last 15, 20 minutes to be the decider. And so we've got to make sure that we can maintain.
I really like the Bird Battle. That's something that I'll definitely use in my little podcast. This is great content that you're giving me. I appreciate it. Okay. But moving on ahead, I guess, to your coaching style. I mean, what is your coaching philosophy and style on and off the field for your girls?
I try to play the game the way that not only will give us the best opportunity to be successful, but also aesthetically to make the game look beautiful, to get everybody involved in the game, to keep my players safe and develop them over the course of the season. It's really hard. It would be much easier to play a simplistic, efficient style of play. But sometimes those styles are not overly good at keeping, players healthy in the long run. If every game is just a physical contest or a direct play. And then obviously we want to improve as the season goes on. And so we want, players getting maximal touches on the ball to kind of execute our style so that we grow throughout the season, because it's not about winning every game and then, getting to playoffs and being burnt out. It's improving over the course of the season. And so our style of play typically is to keep the ball on the deck, to move the ball with quick passing and receiving, to vary our runs and our movements to create problems for the other team, and to score through, multiple avenues, whether it's, forwards getting in behind or quick combination play, shots from range, when the defenders have dropped off and bunkered in. But we also want to be very effective on set pieces, and we spend a lot of time on that because that against two good teams, that usually is the deciding factor.
Absolutely. And one thing that I think is so interesting about the high school level of soccer is the development of not only, you're developing players to go to college, possibly play collegiately, but you're also developing them as people, even if they decide not to go to college. So how do you kind of find that balance with your players and trying to figure out who wants to and what not to in developing them, not only as players, but as people?
So that's a good question. And so, I've coached high level club, and I've coached high school for a number of years, and both have merits. I feel like there's a divide between the two that our country needs to do a better job of fixing. A good high school program mimics a college program far more than what I think some of the kids in the club environment are getting, where you're playing with multiple age groups. You're going to class with these kids. A freshman who's very good having to play against 18-year-olds is going to have to change their game and learn to do certain things. And so, high school gives a lot of really cool opportunities for kids to grow. In our program, we are trying very intentionally, and we're not perfect, but to place a value on every player, and that your role in the team does not equivalent to your status. And so everybody kind of has a say. Everybody, can communicate their voice and in what our team expectations are and our values are. And so, we want to make sure that everybody is able to grow through the program and ultimately enjoy their time here, whether it's the last time they'll play, when they're done, or if we're giving them that launch pad to be successful at the next level.
I feel like too, even like the comparison from high school to college, you're also still studying academically, which is the same thing in college. You're doing both, and you're getting that sort of practice with both. That way, when you do go collegiately, it's not a huge jump, and you're like kind of able to balance it a bit more.
Absolutely. And you've got to balance, I've got a big test tomorrow, but I have a game tonight, or I have this big school event that's going on, or I'm struggling in this class, and then can I lean on my teammates to help me out? And so that's something that you definitely get in the high school.
Absolutely. And my last question for you, Coach, is, you're coming off a good win against Mountain View. You guys won 6-0 against them. And now moving on against Colins Hill, how are you going to take that momentum from that game and push it forward against Colins Hill on Friday?
Well, we got a young team. We've got some good seniors for sure, but we have a real strong spine of sophomores. And so, our MO early in the season, we were good when we had good players, but we'd lose our focus late in games and give up silly goals that cost us. And so the big, measuring stick that we've looked at is, can we be consistent over the course of the game? And can every player, understand and be willing to? We evaluate players based on you're not a starter or a bench player. You're first on the field, or you're a game changer. And can the game changers come in and change it? Last night was good for us for a couple reasons. One, we really weathered some pressure early on, and it was 0-0 for a good bit. And then our senior, Ella Vasquez, stepped up and scored a convincing goal to send us into the half, which is always good. Then we went in, and one of our players who has not played a first on the field role throughout the season came in and scored a hat trick in 4 minutes. And when you have a player come in from not starting to score, that lifts your team. And that was really good. And so as we're getting everybody in, there was a late drive where we could have given up a goal, and our defenders and our goalkeeper, Isa Free, stepped up and made a critical save. And so all of those things are checking boxes that the team is starting to come together and understand that we need to be focused for 80 minutes, and we need to, execute our style of play effectively. It doesn't matter who's on the field. We all know exactly what we're going to be doing.
Absolutely. And thank you so much again, Coach, for taking the time to talk to me. It was really great talking to you a bit about the development process of high school, as well as just what we can expect from your side going into Friday. I know we're all looking forward to doing this matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, we're just very excited.
Well, I am too. Thank you so much for all that you guys do to grow the game. And for the kids, really that's what it's all about. And, everything that we can do for them, is important. And, we want to continue to grow the game in America. As other countries are trying to keep pace, we've got to figure out how to continue to do things better and not sit back and expect that we've always been good. So we're going to stay good.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. But awesome.
Right.
I really appreciate it, Coach Hayes. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. And yeah, we'll see you on Friday. We're very excited.
All right. Anytime, pal.
Want to say a big thank you to Coach Hayes for talking to me today. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun getting to talk about this matchup and also talk about the development of girls soccer throughout Georgia and just a bit about developing players getting ready to go to college if they decide to pursue college athletics. And just as a reminder, we will be at Druid Hills tomorrow where they will face off against Clarkston. The girls' game is going to start at 5:30 and then the boys are going to be shortly after. And then on Friday, we will be at Mill Creek where they will face off against Colins Hill. That will also start at 5:30 with the boys following 30 minutes after. And you can check all that out at soccerdownhere.mixler.com. Now, before I close it out here, another quick word from our sponsors. Soccer is in Session is presented by Kaiser Permanente. Live well and thrive. Let Kaiser Permanente take care of the rest. Hey Atlanta, U.S. Soccer is moving its National Training Center to the ATL and hosting our first National Team Soccer doubleheader. The 9th annual She Believes Cup presented by Visa kicks off Saturday, April 6th at 12:30 p.m. at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Get your tickets now to support the U.S. women's national team against rivals Japan, followed by Brazil versus Canada. Secure your seats today at ussoccer.com/tickets. Again, that's ussoccer.com/tickets. Again, I just want to give a huge thank you to you guys for supporting Soccer is in Session. I have a lot of fun doing all of these podcasts for you guys. I love getting to talk to all the high school head coaches and just spread the development of high school soccer. But again, thank you guys so much for checking us out, and make sure you guys come back tomorrow for the boys episode of Soccer is in Session. And be sure you subscribe to Soccer Down Here wherever you get your podcast. You can catch it there. You can also listen for free on the Soccer Down Here app, and you can download that in your app store. You can also check us out at soccerdownhere.net. And if you also want to follow me to keep up with everything that I'm doing with everything from Soccer Down Here to also KSU stuff, I am Madison Crews 7 on Instagram and Twitter/X, so you guys can follow me there as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for checking out this episode, and I will see you guys tomorrow.